Hey there, welcome to my channel B&B Update Us 24. After grabbing a gun, Steffy shoots Luna. Was she compelled to kill Finn's daughter? According to previews for The Bold and the Beautiful, Steffy Forrester might shoot Luna Nozawa during a gun grab. Will Steffy have to kill the daughter of John Finn Finnegan? Sheila Sharp was unable to remove Luna's weapon, so she ended up being the first shooting victim. Soon enough, Liam Spencer will also fall into Luna's shooting range and suffer the same fate. You can bet that Steffy will be enraged once Liam sustains serious injuries. Steffy might seize the weapon from Luna and beat her in a fit of rage. Steffy might threaten to shoot Luna if she gets any closer in this situation. Even though Luna doesn't believe Steffy is capable of shooting, she might be caught off guard when Steffy fires at her. According to the most recent B&B teasers, Luna is the third hospital patient. If she is at fault, Steffy would have to tell Finn that she shot his own kid. Naturally, given how far Luna has gotten out of hand, Finn will hopefully understand. Finn should understand that Steffy took the necessary precautions to protect herself in light of what transpired with Sheila and Liam. Here's where it gets interesting. According to the most recent spoiler indications, Luna is the one gunshot victim who is reportedly going to die during surgery. Liam will eventually recover from this experience, even though he should remain unconscious for some time. Similarly, except than losing a second toe, Sheila seems to be going to be fine. Luna appears to be on the verge of a terrible end, but will it be a fatal ruse? The fact that Luna is confirmed to be returning to the show in September may be a sign that her death won't be genuine. Of course, it's also possible that Luna will reappear in a spectral form, but a staged death is also a possibility. Perhaps Luna's fake death, like Finn's, is a like father, like daughter scenario. In any event, according to teasers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Finn will receive updates on some astounding Luna news, so tune in. Luna and Liam are both shot, while Sheila loses her second toe. According to Tuesday, July 8 spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Hope Logan has an emotional phone conversation with Liam Spencer, and Sheila Sharp will experience her second toe loss. Now that the gun has been discharged, Sheila will collapse at the beach home. Sheila was shot in the foot, according to the most recent information, even though it first appeared that she might have been wounded in the chest or stomach. The show will find a way to inject some humor into the entire issue, as B&B spoilers indicate that Sheila will lose a second toe by the end of it all. We'll be sure to provide any additional information regarding Sheila's involvement in the mayhem. Liam, meantime, is going to the beach home to answer a call from Hope outside. Since she is still dealing with Liam's fatal diagnosis, Hope will want to check in with him, but he will assure her that he is not leaving anytime soon. Liam promises to be there tomorrow and for as many tomorrows as possible after reassuring Hope that he loves her more than she can ever know. Given that Liam is going to enter a potentially fatal position, this will undoubtedly be a means of heightening the drama. When Liam hears a disturbance, he will rush to Steffy Forrester's aid, only to get shot in the process. Will Steffy act independently once Liam is the next victim of Luna? Will Steffy remove the firearm from Luna's grasp and aim it at her? In any case, teasers for The Bold and the Beautiful suggest that Luna herself will soon be operating. It appears that Luna's plan will take a terrible turn once more and she will also be shot. In order for all of these injured characters to eventually receive emergency care at the hospital, paramedics will be dispatched to the location. Bridget Forrester, Lee Finnegan, and Grace Buckingham will undoubtedly employ their medical expertise. Stay tuned for John Finn Finnegan's response to all the chaos Luna unleashed. B&B fans won't want to miss it. Is Lee actually lying about Luna's death to hold her in captivity? Lee Finnegan may orchestrate Luna Nozawa's death and keep her in prison, according to spoilers and updates for The Bold and the Beautiful. This might be Lee's strategy if she wants to sever Luna's connections to John Finn Finnegan. Lee adopts a posture that surprises Finn. Lee made a statement in the episode from July 7 that shocked Finn. What if Lee goes on to say that the world would be a better place if Luna didn't exist? The question of whether prison can actually hold someone like Luna might worry Lee. Viewers are aware of Sheila Sharp's multiple escapes from justice, after all. Lee could worry that Luna would somehow end up back on the streets as Sheila did if she is caught and returned to prison. Given that Luna has already received one pardon, Lee's concerns about her possible freedom are legitimate. As Luna's gun goes off, Sheila fights with Luna and gets shot. There will be a gunshot after dramatic altercation between Sheila and Luna, leaving Sheila injured and in need of medical surgery. Although it seems that Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton, might potentially be shot later on, might Luna be the third victim alluded to in B&B spoilers? If that's the case, Lee might have a special chance. Lee once took Finn out of the hospital in secret to tend to him and aid in his recovery. Fans may recall this. Lee knew the truth, but everyone else thought Finn was lost forever. What if that plot is approached differently in the show? Lee would be motivated by the desire to permanently keep Luna away. Lee may be trying to confine Luna in order to keep her away from Finn, even though her objective in that situation was to ensure Finn's survival. In Lee's opinion, this might be the only way to sever the father-daughter connection. Lee may choose to keep Luna as a captive in a secret place rather than let her die or go back to jail. This would give the Luna plot a new direction on the program and put Luna in a terrible situation that she would really hate. Imagine Luna waking up, chained to a bed in a remote location, or perhaps imprisoned in a cage. Luna and Lee will interact in a September episode, according to a script leak. According to a recent script leak, Luna and Lee will appear together in an episode in September, raising the possibility that they could interact. Could Lee end up kidnapping Luna? The bold and the beautiful spoilers suggest that Finn died, but they also suggest that one character will not survive surgery. This means that just because something is announced, it doesn't mean it's real. Lee may assert that Luna did not get it out alive, and Poppy Nozawa may have contributed to the secret. Maybe the sisters will work together on this fictitious killing plot, as we know Poppy will surprise Lee when she refuses to back down. In any case, Luna will be in the center of the drama from July 7th to 11th, and will keep you informed of all the horrific developments. With Luna on the loose, everything goes haywire. Tuesday, July 8, 2025. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful indicate that Steffy and the Foresters will have another difficult day as Lune continues to go farther than she has in the past. Steffy's horror and shock. The fact that Luna Nozawa is Miss Sunshine is only the beginning of her many surprises. Luna continues to speak after someone is shot, shocking Steffy Forrester Finnegan with some shocking news. Steffy's jaw will be on the ground when Luna tells her, and ours will probably be too. What more is Luna concealing that no one has noticed? Now that Steffy is aware that Luna has been stalking Hayes and picking up gun skills, what else has Luna been doing when she hasn't been hanging out with Sheila Carter? Does she tell Steffy where she gets her money or that she has killed people? It appears that more shots will be fired after Luna's confession, but who will be caught in the crossfire this time? Does Luna not anticipate someone entering the beach house? Discover more, The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. Grace's desperation described, linked to her ex's drug scam. Steffy's trail is hot. Steffy's loved ones collaborate with Chief Baker to determine what to do while Steffy and Sheila attempt to deal with Luna. Luna is clearly up to no good at the Spencer Beach house by now, but everyone must exercise caution around her because she is armed. Will someone, however, not exercise caution and go above and above in an attempt to save Steffy? Making sure Steffy is protected from Luna's fury has been Liam Spencer's obsession. Will Liam take a chance to save his ex-wife while her true husband does nothing? Liam believes he is dying anyhow. Is it possible that Liam will get caught in the crossfire of Luna and receive a bullet intended for Steffy? His position in her life would undoubtedly be cemented by that. If Liam wasn't already adored, he will be now, but given his current state, is he even going to live? With emotions bursting, accusations flying, and one woman's troubled background being brought directly into the harsh limelight, and not just symbolically, The Bold and the Beautiful was nothing short of a soap opera explosion. As the camera shifted between a terrifying altercation and a scandalous family confrontation that shook the Forrester and Finnegan clans, the action began with a thunderclap of tension, the kind that fans love. Shots were fired, literally, at an undisclosed place in a startling and heart-pounding twist that sent characters running for cover and viewers screaming. The dramatic ramifications were clear from away. This wasn't just a random act of violence, even though the gunman wasn't identified until the end of the show. A message was being sent. Law enforcement raced to the scene, but in the hospital break room, Lee Finnegan unleashed a verbal barrage of judgment, resentment, and long-standing animosity at her sister Poppy Nozawa. All of Poppy's words were scrutinized, weaponized, and ripped to pieces by Lee's rage. Lee tore off the mask she had been wearing for weeks, and without any more pretense of civility, she told Poppy what she truly thought of her, a freeloading, irresponsible, wandering soul who has always put pleasure before duty, chaos before order, and secrets before the truth. It was classic Lee, steely-eyed and emotionally composed on the outside but shaking with anger on the inside. In addition to damaging the family reputation, she accused Poppy of manipulating her daughter Luna by telling her romanticized lies and half-truths about her father's identity, which has been a mystery for months and has consequences for the Forresters and Spencers down to the DNA level. As she questioned Poppy about her alleged relationship with Bill Spencer, who recently returned to the spotlight right before Luna's paternity issue erupted, Lee's anger was evident. Lee didn't mince words and essentially accused Poppy of using Bill as a pretext to get close to riches, influence, and possibly even legitimacy. Her voice was low and tremulous as she screamed, "Poppy, you are never going to settle down. You only come when it's advantageous to you." Poppy, who has always been the calm in Lee's whirlwind, tried her best to defend herself, telling Lee that Luna is an adult and should not be subjected to filtered interpretations of her family's past. "And now you're dragging Luna through the same lies you told yourself." However, it made no difference because Lee was on a mission and nothing could stop her rant. With Lee playing the roles of judge, jury, and executioner, the action resembled a courtroom cross-examination more than a sibling argument. Lee revealed that she thinks Luna's father is someone far worse than Bill, just when it looked like things couldn't get any more vicious. Online rumors regarding who she was alluding to erupted after the statement shocked the fandom. Is that a Forrester? A Logan? Someone powerful and sinister enough to justify Lee's outrage? However, the remainder of LA, Ridge Forrester, Steffy, and Finn were all trying to figure out who was targeted and why as they reeled from the aftermath of the unexplained gunshots. As the hospital tightened its security measures, tensions increased and Finn was once more torn between duty and family, particularly after Steffy expressed her concerns about Poppy's involvement in their lives. "She's a troublemaker, Finn," Steffy said, holding her kids close. "And this time it could be lethal." Lee reaffirmed her belief that Poppy's reappearance and the violent events that followed were no coincidence at all, that perhaps someone from Poppy's dark past had followed her to Los Angeles, endangering them all. Steffy and Finn argued over whether Poppy's arrival was accidental or part of a bigger plan. Detective Baker entered the fray at that point, giving fans just enough hints about the shooting to keep them eager for more. Shell casings had been found, security footage was being examined, and there was no doubt that someone close to the Forresters was involved. Many people think the person might be Sheila Carter, who has been noticeably missing from recent episodes but has been menacingly mentioned several times. Is Sheila pursuing Poppy in an attempt to conceal long-held secrets? Could she be the true threat behind the shooting, or possibly Luna's biological mother? The program that aired on Monday added fuel to the countless speculations. Bill Spencer was nowhere to be found, which fueled rumors that he might have been the intended target or even the gunman himself in a desperate act of protection or retaliation. Spencer was still suffering from his recent, intimate reconnect ion with Luna and the possible disclosure of his paternity. After all, for a man who is known for his spectacular movements and high-stakes clashes, Bill has been very calm. Viewers are left wondering if Poppy still has any allies or if she will soon be forced out of the Forrester-Spencer universe completely after Steffy expressed her worries and Lee essentially deemed her a threat to society. Poppy, a woman surrounded by adversaries and plagued by a past that obviously hasn't finished with her yet, was left sitting alone as the episode came to an end, hospital lights going out and police sirens fading into the distance. Her tears were full but unshed. Lee watched from the shadows in the distance, her arms folded and her face impassive, but her gaze sent the message that this isn't over. By no means. If anything, Monday's show paved the path for a new conflict, not just between sisters, but also between survival and truth, legacy and reinvention, and the past that characters wish to leave behind and the one that always finds a way back. Dr. Grace Buckingham's abrupt involvement in Liam Spencer's mental health problem is beginning to cause more concerns than a Spencer versus Forrester wedding, with bold and beautiful fans raising their voices louder than the fashion runway at Forrester Creations. At first look, Grace seemed to be returning to the canvas as a calm doctor, a worried mother, and a sane voice amongst Liam's unpredictable downward slide, but that mask may be coming off. Viewers are wondering if Grace is secretly influencing Liam, or worse, drugging him, as recent scenes have raised doubts that her diagnosis of acute dissociative disorder with stress-induced delusions may not be as clinical as it seems. Grace's behavior betrays something darker than concern, from her overzealous demand for psychiatric intervention to her near obsession with getting Liam committed or treated without a complete workup to the subtle looks she exchanges with off-screen parties. The issue remains, is Grace acting alone, or is she a part of a wider plot to discredit Liam as a danger to someone else's plans? Maybe it's Bill Spencer, Sheila, or Poppy, who could want Liam silenced in order to preserve long-kept secrets. Notably, Grace's medical history cannot be disregarded by supporters. This is not the first time she has encountered ethical dilemmas. Her attempts to coerce Paris Buckingham into partnerships she considered appropriate and her manipulation of emotional circumstances for her own benefit are just two examples of her past transgressions of professional boundaries. Given Liam's current state of vulnerability, confusion, and isolation, many people think she might be using the same emotional leverage, albeit under the pretense of treatment. Astute viewers have noted that Liam's symptoms, which include exhaustion, lightheadedness, abrupt mood changes, and memory loss, do not entirely correspond with a mental health crisis. Rather, they are similar to the adverse effects of dissociative drugs like benzodiazepines, which raises the terrifying possibility that Grace is giving him sedatives or mood stabilizers against his will. Could she be prescribing off-label drugs behind a fictitious chart entry or sneaking something into his water? In a soap opera world where medical blackmail, staged deaths, and secret kids are commonplace, it is not out of the question. To make sure that her voice is the only one in Liam's ear, Grace seems to be excluding him from his typical support system, which includes Steffy, Hope, and even Wyatt. This is even more disturbing. Outside of Los Angeles, conveniently away from prying eyes and forensic examination, she has started suggesting private inpatient evaluation centers. The plot becomes more comparable to psychological warfare when you combine it with Liam's recent confusion and his growing skepticism about reality, especially whether or not events like his past with Hope actually occurred. Is Grace tricking Liam into thinking he's going crazy in order to get rid of him as a hindrance to someone's scheme? Is this an attempt to prevent him from learning more about Poppy's past or from looking into Luna's paternity? Remember how Grace attempted to use emotional blackmail to control Zende and Paris? What's stopping her from using medicine as a weapon to influence Liam's future? The obvious question of why Grace is participating at all is another. She is not a psychiatrist. She is a gynecologist. Why is she making decisions about Liam's diagnosis and course of therapy without consulting a mental health professional? Would a legitimate psychiatrist find nothing wrong with Liam, or worse, possibly spot indications of pharmacological influence that would expose her plot? Right now, Grace's presence seems more like planned containment than professional concern. She seems to be constructing a legal argument rather than a medical one, as seen by the loaded language she uses, frequently calling Liam unstable or a danger to himself and others. Some admirers speculate that she might even be attempting to have him deemed incompetent so that someone else can take control of his resources, custody rights, or even his position at Spencer Publications. Who would gain, though? This would be the ideal smokescreen if Grace is acting on behalf of someone else, such as Sheila, who is attempting to remove Liam as a danger to Finn and Steffy. Or perhaps Poppy is using Grace as a family pawn because she is worried that Liam is delving too deeply into Luna's true paternity and the potential controversy that would result. The Buckingham and Nozawa families are, after all, embroiled in secrets, and Grace has a history of protecting the individuals she chooses to associate with, frequently at the expense of unsettling outcomes. However, if Grace is acting on her own initiative, is it possible that she harbors personal animosity towards the Spencers? Is this an attempt to reclaim her professional credibility by creating a high-profile mental health success story at any cost, or is it a perverse vengeance scheme for the way they abused Paris? The stakes are much higher now that Liam is actually in her care, since viewers remember how easily Grace lost her temper when she didn't get her way in the past. Because it is based in emotional truth, this soap opera, which is known for its outrageous twists, is really taking off. We've seen characters get drugged, gaslit, and institutionalized in the past, CU, Quinn, and Thomas, but this time, a reputable doctor is behind the scenes, which is terrifying. The scenes on Monday in particular were terrifying. Grace inquiring if someone had changed his meds, a casual remark that suddenly seems like the most important hint of all, while Liam stroked his temples in bewilderment. In addition to being a grave ethical transgression, Grace's drugging of him is a planned character assassination masquerading as assistance. And the ideal example is Liam, who is always the morally weak one. He is already portrayed as unstable and paranoid. Grace will have all the evidence she needs to send him off, forever, with just a few more episodes. If this plot is followed, it might be one of B&B's most unsettling storylines in years, redefining Grace Buckingham as a full-fledged villain with a scalpel and a purpose rather than as a misguided mother. One thing is clear as fans anxiously anticipate the next turn of events: Liam may be battling for his life rather than simply his sanity. Furthermore, he might not be able to break free from Grace's hold before it's too late unless someone, Steffy, Hope, or even Bill, steps in quickly.